One of the most basic principles of economics is the idea that there's no such thing as a free lunch. In other words, everything has a cost to somebody, somewhere, regardless of whether or not the person using it is the person paying. For example, Google and Facebook can be free to users because it is paid for by a massive network of advertisers. In 1952, the idea that diversification is in fact a free lunch was first proposed. The Journal of Finance published an article from an unknown 25-year-old graduate student at the University of Chicago. The title of the paper was Portfolio Selection, and its author was Harry Markowitz. His paper was so innovative that it earned him a Nobel Prize in Economics in 1990. Markowitz's objective was to construct a portfolio for investors who consider returns as something that they want, but risk, defined as variance of return or volatility, as undesirable. His basic insight was that the return of a diversified portfolio will be equal to the average returns of the individual holdings, but that at the same time, the volatility of the portfolio will be less than the average volatility of its individual holdings. The concept to link risk and return was nothing less than revolutionary. An investor who spreads his wealth among many different investments can reduce the risk or volatility of his portfolio, as long as the underlying investments are imperfectly correlated. All this means is that the prices of securities in a portfolio should not all move up or down as a group at the same time. To illustrate this concept, think in terms of a portfolio consisting only of government bonds, compared to one that holds a combination of shares and bonds. Contrary to commonly held wisdom, a portfolio holding about 25% in shares and 75% in bonds is less risky than a 100% bond portfolio, and it offers a higher return. This is because there are times when a sudden change in macroeconomic factors, such as inflation or interest rates, has an adverse effect on bonds, but it is good for shares. If one also adds inflation-linked bonds to this portfolio, it reduces the risk even further. That is because inflation-linked bonds are the only asset that assures the investor of having a positive real rate of return. This offers investors the opportunity to create a portfolio that delivers their required return while all along reducing risk. Once you are fully diversified, you get something for free. Lower risk for the same expected return. A very high degree of diversification can be achieved through investing in a variety of passively managed index funds or exchange-traded funds. Such investments are also among the lowest cost investment vehicles available to individual investors in the financial markets. Given that this alternative is easily available, the relevant question is never whether a portfolio should be well diversified, but rather if you would like some dessert with your free lunch.